Jaya Krishna Chaitanya Sri Advaita Gadadhara Sri Gaura Bhaktam Krishna, Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama.
Krishna, Krishna, Hare Krishna Consciousness, Bhaktivedanta, Swami Namaste, Saraswati Devi, Govardhani Acharya, Namaste, Satsanya Vari, Pachakti Devi, Om Yantamanandasya, Janandana Salataya, Chaksu Samaritan, Tasmai, Sri Gave Nama, Sri Caitanya Manavisham, Sakitam Dena Vitale, Sayam Vipakrama, and the Bhakti Sakandan Pikam. Manjaka Churista, Kripa Sindhu Petitanam Bhavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo. Welcome, welcome. Coming up 4 months again. And 18. But everyone else. Today, Mahaprabhu is going to deepen his journey into Benares. He's just passing through on the first time, on his way to Vrindavan, and he'll stop and spend more time going back. This time, I think he'll spend 10 days because of the request of Chandrasekhar and Tapan Misra, his devotees. So Chandrasekhar, Tapan Misra, we spoke about Tapan Misra and his meeting of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, I think 2 weeks ago. We met him in Bangladesh when Mahaprabhu was just a boy, practically speaking. And he was such a powerful, learned scholar that he was gathering so many followers, and Tapan Misra understood that he was the Supreme Lord because a devata or someone had appeared to him in a dream. Please. So he understood he was the Supreme Lord, and he wanted to be with the Lord, of course. Who wouldn't? the definition, the ultimate definition or one of the ultimate definitions of Krishna is all attractive. It's Krishna, Supreme Lord. He attracts everyone. He has everything that everyone wants in this world, but cannot become satisfied even if they gain. So he wanted to be with Mahaprabhu, and Mahaprabhu said yes. When a sadhu says yes, it's often followed by a no. Yes, but go to Benares. And there I will explain the philosophy to you fully. And he does this on the way back. On the way back from Vrindavan, when he instructs Sanatana Goswami, Mahaprabhu instructs Sanatana Goswami for 2 months in Benares. And Tapan Mishra hears everything at that time, along with Chandrasekhar. So, and by the way, it was sort of, I hadn't realized it before. I was always wondering how Chandrasekhar, who was a very important personality, I think the husband of Satyamata's sister, Chandrasekhar. So he was very important in Mahaprabhu's Leela in Navadvipa. I always wondered how he got to Benares, but actually it's a different Chandrasekhar. That was Founder-Acharya, and this is Chandrasekhar. So Chandrasekhar was so happy. He came, first Tapan Mishra had met him, and then Chandrasekhar came, and it said, he happened to be a friend of Tapan Mishra's, and he was long known to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu as his servant. Now there's no explanation, I couldn't find any information about Chandrasekhar. He was a physician by caste, a Vaidya, and by profession, he was a clerk. It's interesting. Lekhana Vritti is the Bengali word for clerk. He just writes and keeps track of things. At this time, he was living in Benares. When Chandrasekhar came there, he fell down immediately before the lotus feet of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and he immediately began to cry. Tears came from his eyes, because the heart in this world tends to be very hard-hearted. And coming before the all-attractive, sweet, Supreme Personality of Godhead immediately melts the heart, and tears come from the eyes. And the Lord, standing up, embraced him out of his causeless mercy. And Chandrasekhar said, my Lord, my dear Lord, you have bestowed your causeless mercy upon me because I am your old servant. Bara kripa koila apane asya britya. You've given me your audience because I am your servant. And due to my past deeds, parabdha karma, due to my bad, unfortunate deeds, I'm residing in Benares. So what is the bad thing that caused him to reside in Benares? He's saying it's his karma. And then Prabhupada says devotees don't have karma, in fact. But what is the thing about residing in Benares, which is such a holy place? It's the longest perpetually, continuously inhabited city in the whole world. What is the bad thing that he's saying about it? He says, but here I do not hear anything but the word Maya and Brahman. So there's an absence of Krishna Gita. And this is a devotee's life. This is a devotee's life. When Mahaprabhu was speaking to Rupa Goswami, we'll speak to him in the next, in the 18th chapter. He says that this is what, for a devotee, he waters the kripa of his devotion with nitya sikhi, always watering, sprinkling his devotional kripa with shravanati jal. with hearing and chanting, etc. This is the water that makes one's bhakti grow. So it's a wonderful metaphor that Mahaprabhu uses when speaking to Rupa Goswami. It's very elaborate. Better not go into it right here. But it's really wonderful. But there's no water in Benares for him. The Ganga is there, but there is no Harikatha. And all he hears is Brahman and Maya, that this world is actually all Maya. And for a Mayavadi, because of course Benares is the center of, quote, Hinduism, the center of Mayavad philosophy. And they say that everything is illusion, it's Maya, but their meaning of Maya is very different from our meaning, understanding of what Maya is. What is the impersonalist understanding of Maya, or the Mayavadi's understanding of Maya?
Like it's just kind of illusion, it's not like Lord's energy, I think.
They don't think there's a Lord,
Yeah.
and they don't think what to speak of having energy. They say everything, because there's a oneness of everything. This is Mayavad philosophy. And to see any differentiation at all is illusion. That's what they think is Maya. So they think specifically that everything in this world, it isn't actually there. Now, talking about an impractical philosophy, now how you're going to walk out the door, imagining that the door isn't there and the wall isn't there and you're not even there. And worse than that is that they think Krishna, and this is the point that makes them great offenders. They say that Krishna, when the Brahman is influenced by the mode of goodness, he is Ishvara, he is Krishna, he is Avatar. Brahman becomes under the influence of his own external energy, and he doesn't even have any external energy because he's nirguna, he has no qualities. So what they think, the Mayavadis think, that when Brahman comes under the influence of sattva gun, goodness, then that's Krishna, an avatar. And when the jiva is existence, it's when Brahman comes under the influence of passion and ignorance. This is Mayavad philosophy. So everything about Krishna, his activities, his katha, his service, is all under the influence of Maya. It's all illusion. There's no Krishna, there's no devotional services and transcendental. It's all illusion. It's all Maya. And when you actually understand reality, then you understand everything is, you can't talk about it because talking about it would give it a quality. You can't describe it as indescribable. Words cannot describe it. Words going to this level come back. This is Mayavad philosophy. There's no Krishna Katha, there's no deities. And when impersonalist Mayavadis worship the deities, they worship the deity because it's so hard to fix your mind on the everythingness of everything. They worship the deity because it helps, but then ultimately they become the deity. They become the Lord. So what kind of worship is that? There's no veneration. If you're just like every corporate person is serving his boss, but he wants to become the boss. So the boss is wary of such people who are serving because they're not actually serving at all. That's their ambition. What an ambition to become God. To worship the deity, and the example is given is that you use a ladder to climb a fence. You use the deity and service and a mantra to climb a fence. And then when you get to the top, you no longer need that fence, that ladder anymore, so you just kick it away. So that's confirmed. It's just like that, it's a big cough. and you kick it away. So that's the nature of their worship of the deity. Till you serve our purpose, we'll use you, and then kick you away. And we become realized. So is that seva? Is that worship? Is that bhakti? There's no bhav, there's no desire to please. It's the desire to exploit. So therefore the Mayavadis just get criticized by the devotees, and they complain that we call them Mayavadis. But actually we didn't start calling them Mayavad, it was there for thousands of years. Because they say, again, that the service of the Lord, the deity of the Lord, the avatar, the spiritual, there's no spiritual world. It is all Maya. So that they're on the path of seeing everything is Maya. So therefore he's saying, here there's only words. That's all I hear. I don't hear Krishna Katha, I don't hear Krishna's names. I just hear words like Maya. Everything is Maya. And then when Maya is removed, the result is just saying everything is oneness, Brahman. Brahman means the greatest, but it means they're referring to it as the oneness of everything. So he's saying, this is due to my bad karma, basically. And Prabhupada in this purport spends most of the purport explaining devotees don't have any karma. And this is such an important point, and it's not only the most exalted devotees. I saw once, before I started chanting, before I met Prabhupada, in 1960, maybe 67 or 68, there was a television program where Prabhupada was being interviewed. And I thought it was Les Crane, but in Mukunda Maharaj's book, or Shamana Sundar Prabhu's book, they said it was someone else. But Prabhupada came on with some of his disciples, from early disciples from San Francisco. And the interviewer asked Prabhupada one of the first things asked him, are you liberated? And Prabhupada said, yes, and so all my disciples. Because they were following the process. As long as one's following the process, one is not under the control of the modes of material nature, one's under the control of the order of the Shastra and the Guru. So one is not being manipulated and moved this way and that way by the modes of nature. One's free from that prison if one is following in that way. So Prabhupada said that. And then they asked, and I remembered, I thought this is most extraordinary. And then they asked him, how old are you? And Prabhupada said, 70, and still I have all my teeth. And he went, see, how could he do that? He was so charming. And so innocent in that way. But in any case, in his purport, he explains that the devotees are actually under Krishna. Now, it looks like karma, but tateno kampam susamikshramano bhunjaneva, but one sees that it is not my karma. One sees this is Krishna. He's minimized what I deserve. And of course, in the age of Kali, everyone is thinking they deserve to be treated like a king continuously and get everything they want. So therefore, even when anything happens, we get angry. We tend to get angry. We don't think that this is due to false ego, big false ego that people in Kali Yuga have. You know how Kali Yuga generates a big false ego? Does anyone have an explanation of this? Everyone's waiting for me to say it, obviously now. Is that in Kali Yuga, people, when they're young, they see that their parents, when they're babies, they see their parents are perfect. And then gradually as they get older, they see that they're wonderful, they've been so kind, except for your parents. I mean, not that they weren't, but they begin to see, oh, they're not perfect, they're human beings. And then usually Kali Yuga starts at 2. Then they start saying no. Kids, did you say no at 2?
I must have.
Did he start? Your father says, I admit or deny nothing. Staying neutral on this one. And then, so first stage is they don't differentiate, and then they see their parents as everything. This is the simple psychology, and then they appreciate. Then there was one funny joke when a 16-year-old the difference between a 16-year-old and a 21-year-old is that, this is in the West anyway, at 16 they think their parents don't know anything, that they know everything. And then at 21 they think, I'm so surprised how much my parents learned in these 4 years or 5 years. So intelligent. So in any case, when one is, and then instead of thinking their parents are perfect, they project that into either a rock star or a cricket player or a basketball player or something. They think this person is perfect. Or, of course, nowadays no one thinks the politicians are perfect, but they project it somewhere else, and then they gradually realize that they're not perfect. And if they turn to God, they project that perfection on like a religious institution or something like that. Now, anyone who's been in a religious institution for a long time, one can see that there's so many wonderful things, but it's also some other kind of things that happen too. But it's wonderful if one deals with it properly. So, and then when one sees that's not perfect, then one says, oh, my parents aren't ideal, I can't listen to what they say, and then my favorite rock stars and sports heroes and Bollywood movie stars aren't perfect, and so I can't listen to what they say. And then the religious institution isn't perfect, and I can't listen to what they say. So who does that remain, who I listen to all the time? It's only me. It's only me. I'm the one who makes all decisions. I'm the one who I trust only myself. And this is the most dangerous position to be in. One's false ego is so big, I trust only myself. This is contemporary society, not the devotee society, obviously. I trust only myself. I was once, many years ago, I was in a 7-Eleven type of store in Melbourne, and it really stuck with me. And some lady wanted to buy something, and the person who was selling her said, "Oh no, this is a good one. It's a good one. Trust me, I'm a priest." She was being sarcastic, and I thought, this is actually terrible. This is terrible, because no one can trust anyone in Kali Yuga. And who does that leave one with to trust? It's one's own mind. And who has proved itself more untrustworthy than the mind? Proven. And that's Kali Yuga. There's no authority anymore. So, for a devotee is in a completely different level. And Krishna is, when something happens to him, instead of thinking, wait a second, I don't deserve this, he sees Krishna's hand in that. No matter what it is, he'll see Krishna, that Krishna, somehow I deserve so much worse. And Krishna has given me this, he's minimized it. So every difficult circumstance, therefore, simply brings him closer to Krishna, because with Bhakti, with Purnam, with Dhamma Namaste, even difficult circumstances, he sees Krishna's mercy, and he's offering his respects with body, mind, words. And he's praying to Krishna continuously. Praying to Krishna continuously. It's perfect Krishna consciousness. Jivatiyo mukti pade sadayava. If we can just be Krishna conscious, think of Krishna always, it's perfect. Our consciousness is perfect. And if we can trust, and even though I'm not a great devotee, but yet Krishna's there taking care of me. Because there's that verse from the Ramayana that's also in a different form in Caitanya Caritamrta. That if one sakrit, even one time, sincerely says, Tav Azmi, I am yours. If one time one sincerely says, I am yours, sakrideva, certainly, then Krishna says that, and then if he prays to me for courage, Abhayam Savadatasmai, that I will give it to him. I will give him courage. I will give him courage. But that strength of conviction that I'm in Krishna's hands, and who is more kind than Krishna? That type of faith is what life is meant to develop. That kind of trust is what life is meant to develop. And then wherever one is abhayam, fearless. And life is meant to develop that, again. That trust in Krishna, because at some point everyone's, like, there's some people I know who are sitting right here have been so heavily tested in this way, and in the most difficult circumstance they just chanted and chanted in their minds. Most difficult circumstance, this much away from Katamogya. They're protected. I know another devotee, disciple of Prabhupada, he came that close also. And he was in a room in the hospital, and people were like screaming and screaming and screaming. He had some what's it called, embolism in his lungs, clots. And that means go into the heart and finish. And he was in a public ward, and he was hearing people like dying and screaming and crying all night long, which is another kind of hell. And I asked him, were you able to chant? And he said, no, I couldn't. But I felt so strongly that Krishna was protecting me. And it's not only that he protects the great, only the greatest devotees. Sakridev, if one sincerely has offered a prayer and said, Krishna, I'm yours. Krishna, he writes your name down in the book. And of course the devotee doesn't feel himself worthy. But Krishna sees that. That's the humility that attracts Krishna. So in the Prabhupada, he speaks so much about this point. Like this different karma, and even in Jnana Yoga, through Jnana Yoga, you lose all your karma except for your Prarabdha karma, which means the karma that you're experiencing due to this particular body that you're in. That's fixed. But for a devotee, even that is gone, and then one's directly under Krishna. So how does one deal with life in a practical way, knowing that Krishna's, he's under Krishna's protection? Does that mean that there's a Chinese saying that I can't say it Chinese, but it means something to the effect, I may have mentioned this before, that there's a dog is very hungry, and he's just lying down, sitting by and there's a big stone, and suddenly a rabbit comes running by and bangs into the stone right in front of him and dies. So the dog thinks, wow, it's great. I don't have to do anything. I just have to sit here by the stone and rabbits come along. So it's not that one doesn't have to do anything, because one lives a life of devotion. He tries his best to keep Krishna in the center. He tries his best to think how to act now that Krishna will be pleased. He tries his best, and then he accepts. Because life will always challenge us. It always will challenge us. And the proper way to look at those challenges is that, as Christians, yeah, you could call them tests, but I like to think of them as self-assessments. Because in today's schooling system, the tests, the examinations, there's so much pressure put on the students to pass this and pass that so that they can move forward. So much pressure, so much competition. But there's self-assessments more than anything else. That's the meaning of the purpose of the tests in life and in school. You can see how well you're assimilating the knowledge that you've been hearing and studying in school and in life. And every day there are so many tests in life. And where do I turn? Where do I turn? Do I turn to Krishna and try my best thinking of him? Or does my mind go wherever it goes? So we watch introspectively watch our mind, and we see, do we need to move forward in our Krishna consciousness, or are we sort of floating properly or whatever? And usually, I can say for myself, I don't get a great score on my exams. But anyway, it's better to deal with reality rather than illusion. And better to be in a place where there's Krishna Katha, because that will water the devotion, the desire to please Krishna, the attachment. I was reading yesterday that the bhakti, when you chant, it's supposed to be, there were two words that really struck me when Mahaprabhu was speaking to Sanatana Goswami. He says two things should be there when you chant: attachment and intensity. Strong attachment, strong desire. So this is the process of Krishna consciousness. So we want to, by the hearing and chanting, we want to move forward, and we want our bhakti to grow. So it takes shelter of Krishna, it doesn't take shelter of the things that are not actually, cannot actually give us shelter of this world. So, now he's in a terrible place, Chandrasekhar, by his own estimation, even though Benares is one of the main holy places in all of India. And then he says, my dear Lord, Narantana doi chinti tomaratsaran, that we too, he and Tapan Misra, in this difficult place where there's no Krishna Gita, where there's only words of Brahman and Maya, We think of your lotus feet incessantly, nirantara, without stopping. In a difficult circumstance, this is what these great devotees did. And although you are the omniscient Supreme Personality of Godhead, you have granted us your audience. In other words, Krishna sees that attempt, even the attempt. Bhavagrahi, Janardana, even the attempt, he's aware of him because he's omniscient. What does omniscient not mean?
Knowing everything.
He knows everything. Would you like to be omniscient? Just imagine how much you'd have to know what everyone is thinking. Oh my, just imagine. Would you like to know, would you like to be tuned in like to the way your boss, your ex-boss was thinking? So much fear, so much anger, so much resentment. So then, he said, my Lord, this is what Chandrasekhar says. I've heard that you're going to Vrindavan. Please stay here in Benares for some days and deliver us, for we are your two servants. And Tapan Mishra, who was there, he said, my dear Lord, as long as you stay in Benares, please do not accept any invitation other than mine. Please at least allow us to serve you, to feed you. And even though the Lord had not made such a plan, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu remained there for 10 days in Benares, being obligated by the request of his two servants. What do you think of that? What do you think of that? Yes? You raised your hand. Everyone has their excuses.
The Lord reciprocates with the devotee's desire by giving.
With his devotees. Because one thinks one naturally will think that if I'm thinking of Krishna and trying to serve him and act to please him, getting myself out of the center, who's going to take care of me? And the answer is that Krishna, first of all, is omniscient, he knows everything. Yeah. And he's obligated by the request of his two servants. And look what their qualification was. Tapan Mishra went to Benares and waited for so many years for Mahaprabhu to come. And in difficult circumstance, he and Chandrasekhar were always thinking of Krishna incessantly thinking of Krishna. Let every circumstance they were in push them to think of Krishna and still serving, trying to act in such a practical way in this world that Krishna will be pleased. In Benares, now here the topic changes a bit. Now it's going to almost the main topic of this part of the chapter. At Benares, there was a Maharashtrian Brahmin who used to come daily to see Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. This Brahmana was simply astonished to see the Lord's personal beauty and ecstatic love for Krishna. When we heard about Mahaprabhu's tour of South India, we saw that people wherever he went, this was his preaching strategy. Two things. He was just unlimitedly beautiful. People had never seen anyone so beautiful. That we can't imitate. At least I can't. And the other one, his internal absorption in ecstatic love. And that also I can't imitate. But that was how he preached, and that's the secret of preaching. Not the beauty part, but actually, if one becomes internally absorbed, people become very attracted and think he's very uniquely beautiful anyway. So they were astonished, not only attracted, they were astonished, samadka, to see the Lord's personal beauty, rupa prema, his form and his prema, his ecstatic love for Krishna. And seeing this samadka. So the Brahmin, this Maharashtrian Brahmin, when the Brahmins of Benares would invite Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu to lunch, the Lord would not accept their invitations. And he would reply, I've already been invited somewhere else, which was true, because Tapan Mitra said, please only eat at my place. And every day Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu refused their invitations because he feared associating with Mayavadi sannyasis. And Prabhupada gives some instructions to not associate with Mayavadi sannyasis or even eat with them, he says. Or people who don't see the difference between Vaishnavas and Mayavadi. And in Benares, there was a great Mayavadi sannyasi named Prakasananda Saraswati, who used to teach Vedanta philosophy to a great assembly of followers. Of course, he was an impersonalist, and there's some information about him from Chaitanya Bhagavatam in Prabhupada's purport. And Prabhupada, in his purport, explains, Prabhupada is so Prabhupada. He says, so straightforward. Such a foolish person, being an impersonalist, Prakasananda Saraswati used to explain the absolute truth as being without hands, legs, mouth, or eyes. In this way, he used to cheat people by denying the personal form of the Lord. And it's said that Srila Bhaktivedanta Saraswati Thakur, at least once it occurred, but when he was walking down the road, perhaps in Navadvip, and he saw a Mayavadi sannyasi walking the other way, and he crossed the road specifically. And he said, why are you cheating people with this Mayavadi nonsense? You know that story? You never heard that? Okay. And I saw that with Prabhupada too. It's a long story where he, in Kobe, Prabhupada stopped a Mayavadi sannyasi from speaking by telling us, his servants, devotees with him, to start kirtan and sort of in the middle of his talk, not in the middle, but say 2/3 through his talk. And then we asked Prabhupada later why he did this, because the man was speaking in Hindi and we couldn't understand what he was saying. And Prabhupada said, first he was speaking all right, so it wasn't coming from a fanatical point of view. And then Prabhupada said, but then he started explaining Panchapaksana, the Mayavadi system of worshipping different gradations of demigods. And there's Durga Devi, there's Shiva, there's Ganesh, and Surya Dev, and then there's Vishnu. So Prabhupada explained to us that this Mayavadi sannyasi was explaining this Panchapasaka worship, and he started explaining, Prabhupada saying that first you worship Shiva, then Durga Devi, then Ganesh, I can't remember the exact order, and then Surya Dev, and then Vishnu. And then Prabhupada said, and then he explained that beyond Vishnu is the impersonal Brahman. And Prabhupada said, and when he said that, I could not tolerate it. And it was such an unfanatical statement. It was so unfanatical. It was the statement of a lover. If someone says that someone who you have a deep love for, their eyes aren't there, their head isn't there, everything, their nose isn't there, that this isn't there, this isn't there, they don't have this, they don't have that, they have no intelligence. If you love that person, you'll naturally become furious. And we don't become furious because lack of love, if we don't become furious. So Prabhupada said, I could not tolerate it. His reaction to have us start chanting was unpremeditated. And it was the reaction of a lover. And then he said, when I'm out, I'm like a lion. And when I'm home, I'm like a lamb. So most devotees, I think, when they've heard Prabhupada, they listen to Prabhupada's lectures when he's sitting on the Vyasasan, and there he's like a lion. But I think we all long to see the lamb-like part of Prabhupada too, and he tastes that. So Prabhupada just he says, the denying the personal form of the Lord. Such a foolish person was Prakasananda Saraswati. Okay, so first he's calling him a fool. Even though he's lecturing to hundreds of people, and he's a great scholar, but he's a fool. Such a foolish person was Prakasananda Saraswati, whose only business was to sever the limbs of the Lord by proving the Lord impersonal. Although the Lord has formed, Prakasananda Saraswati attempted to cut off the hands and legs of the Lord. That is the business of demons. Okay, he's a fool, he's a demon. The Vedas state that people who do not accept the Lord's forms are rascals. Okay, he's a fool, he's a demon, and a rascal. And then the form of the Lord is factual. For Krishna states in the Bhagavad Gita, Vedestra Sava Aham Eva Vidya. When Krishna says Aham, he says I am, which means I, the person. He adds the words Eva, which is used for conclusive verification. And he calls him a demon again. And then one becomes successful in life by worshipping the form of the Lord. The Mayavadi sannyasis deny the form of the Lord, which delivers all fallen souls. Indeed, the Mayavadi demons try to cut this form into pieces, so Prabhupada goes on in the purport in this way. Nivishesha Sanyavadi Prashkatya Desatarane, that this was, Prabhupada enjoyed defeating Mayavad philosophy, because why are the followers of Prabhupada and the followers of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur and the followers of the Goswamis and followers of Mahaprabhu, why are they so against Mayavad philosophy? Would you like to say something?
Because you can't have a relationship if you're nothing and everything's nothing. There can't be any relationship.
Even though you make believe you're doing bhakti, that just like the worship of the deity by the Mayavadis. It's just, I'm doing this temporarily so I can get something. So it ruins one's ability to serve with true devotion. We may not have much devotion, but this destroys the ability to serve with any devotion. It turns one into doing a business with the absolute truth. I'm serving you to get something. And then when I get what I want, kick you away like the ladder. So then, a Brahmana who saw the wonderful behavior of Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu, he came to Prakasananda Saraswati and described the Lord's characteristics. The Brahmin told Prakasananda Saraswati, there is a sannyasi who has come from Jagannath Puri, and I cannot describe his wonderful influence and his glories. Mahima Pratap Na Parivarnate. I cannot describe how wonderful he is. Everything is wonderful about this sannyasi. He is very well built, and a luxuriant body. His complexion is like purified gold. His arms extend to his knees. His eyes are like the petals of a lotus. In his person are all the transcendental symptoms of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He's going to Prakasananda and saying, this sannyasi is wonderful. When one sees all these features, one takes him to be Narayan himself, and whoever sees him immediately begins to chant the holy name of Krishna. We have heard about the symptoms of a first-class devotee in the Bhagavatam, and all those symptoms are manifest in the body of Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu. His tongue, so he's calling him the Supreme Lord, he's calling him the greatest devotee. His tongue is always chanting the holy name of Krishna, and from his eyes, tears incessantly fall like the flowing Ganga. So we can't imagine what it would be like to see a person who is beautiful, yet all those auspicious characteristics, golden complexion, and he's always chanting, and he's fully absorbed, and tears are pouring from his eyes continuously. But the result we heard was everyone who sees him begins to chant also. Sometimes he dances. Just imagine walking down the road and seeing someone like this. Sometimes he dances, laughs, sings, and cries. And sometimes he roars like a lion. Don't try to do this if you happen to go on Harinam Sankirtan and start roaring like a lion, tears like that, and dancing and falling to the ground. They'll come and lock you up and put you away. And sometimes he roars like a lion. His name, because it's not the external manifestation, it's the internal consciousness that has caused this. His name, Krishna Chaitanya, is all auspicious for the world. Everything about him, his name, form, and qualities is unparalleled. Simply by seeing him, one understands that he possesses all the characteristics of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Such characteristics are certainly uncommon. Who will believe it? And when Prakasananda Saraswati heard this, he laughed. Bahuta hasi. He laughed very much. Not only just laughed, he laughed to hear this description, and joked and laughed at the Brahman. He began to speak as follows. He just laughed at him. You're so foolish. And he said, yes, I've heard about him. He is a sannyasi from Bengal, and he is very sentimental. I've also heard that he belongs to the Bharati Sampradaya, for he is a disciple of Kesava Bharati. However, he is only a pretender. Loka Patarak, a pretender. Because they see everything as coming from the material energy. We spoke about this before. They see that Krishna, influenced by the mode of goodness, he becomes Ishvara, the Brahman, and the Jiva souls, a Brahman influenced by the mode of passion and the mode of ignorance and devotional service, and everything is just Maya, illusion. So therefore, the sentiments he's displaying and all this chamatkar, this wonderful things are just sentiment, it's just pretending. It's just of the material world. They have no idea about spiritual emotions, spiritual ecstasy, spiritual life. No idea. So he accused Caitanya Mahaprabhu of just being a sentimentalist. Even the material world, they perceive that differently, because they say it's all illusion, and the devotees see it as temporary and everything is Krishna's. So real renunciation is yukta vairagya, to use everything in Krishna's service. Prakasananda Saraswati continued, I know that his name is Caitanya, and that he's accompanied by many sentimentalists, just material emotions. His followers dance with him, and he tours from country to country and village to village, and whoever sees him accepts him as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Since he has some mystic power by which he hypnotizes people, everyone who sees him becomes illusioned. And Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya was a very learned scholar, and he was the most learned scholar, historically well known as the proponent of Navanyaya logic in Navadvip. But I've heard that he has also become a madman due to his association with this Caitanya. This Caitanya is a sannyasi in name only. Actually, he's a first-class magician. In other words, he's just hypnotized, doing some tricks. His sentimentalism, in any case, cannot be very much demand here in the city of Kashi. Don't go to see this Caitanya. Just continue hearing Vedanta. If you associate with upstarts, you will be lost in this world and the next. And when the Brahmin heard Prakasananda Saraswati speak like this about Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he became very much grief-stricken, and chanting the holy name of Krishna, he immediately left. So what is he going to do? He's just heard all this. And he's terrible because he's seen, he was influenced by Mahaprabhu, he became ecstatic himself. The mind of the Brahmana was already purified by seeing the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He therefore, he went to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and described what had taken place before the Mayavadi sannyasi Prakasananda. I thought that's quite amazing in and of itself. He said, you know what, he went right to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and said, you know what just happened? I went to Prakasananda, he was going to say it. And then we'll, and hearing all that he said, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu mildly smiled. The Brahmana then spoke again to the Lord, and we'll stop here. And it's interesting, because say if someone, I mean this is not the way it usually happens, say if someone, you go to visit somebody and they just criticize one of your dear friends, for example. They criticize him and say the nastiest things about him. He's a pretender, he's not really a sannyasi, he's a sentimentalist, and the people are just a pretender and a magician. And first thing is, you go to the person who he was criticizing and just say exactly what he told him. But you know what I just heard? This person just told you, Brother Rohan, you're a cheater and a rascal, and everyone thinks you're nice, but we know. And you do this and you do this and that, and just like you're doing now, you mildly smile. Because usually you say, what? The false ego will be hurt. So let's see what Mahaprabhu's reactions to all this are. We'll hear about that concerning next week. Okay, thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Any comments or questions? Or? Yes.
But if you think someone could do something about it, like if you understood the person was powerful and thought they could do something about it, that might impel you to say something, to kind of correct the situation.
Is that what you would do?
Depends who it was, but maybe if I knew the person was powerful and could do something, I may say something because I'd feel bad that I couldn't have done anything and they wanted to kind of
But I mean, you would probably speak in more gentle terms than using. Anyway, this is neither here nor there in a sense, but because you'd think that it would hurt the person. I mean, this is of course a different lead. So if someone, it would hurt the person, so you wouldn't want to say something that would hurt them. Yeah? I mean, if people said nasty things about you, and I said, Linda, you know what these people are saying about you? And they're saying your feelings would be hurt, naturally, even though they might not even be true, but why are these people talking like this about me? So that would be the reason why I would have guessed, but this is Leela. And he's a pure-hearted soul, and as you say, yeah. Anyway. Any other questions or comments? Yeah.
Just a comment on, I like the point that you made about how much we trust our minds, and then I was thinking that's so true, how basically that's my show too, is I trust my own judgment, because at least I know my perspective. And then I was thinking that would be amazing to then have so much trust and intimacy with Krishna that you trust him like you would trust your own mind.
Except that you wouldn't trust him like you trust your mind, because in illusion we trust our minds more than it deserves to be trusted. Yeah, but it's a nice point. Just imagine fully trusting. That kind of innocence, purity and innocence. And the little child who maybe incorrectly and immaturely trusts his father, he's walking across the most dangerous street, holding onto his father's hand, and he has no fear. So that's how a devotee can be fearless in this world, when he has that degree of trust in Krishna. Otherwise, it's not possible. There's Mayam Dvitiya Vinavesha Syat, you know that verse? It talks about how fear comes from seeing duality, that there's something other than Krishna and Krishna's will in this world. And therefore, Srila Prabhupada was so properly and aptly named Abhay Charanana Vinda, fearless, having taken shelter of the Lord's feet. And how can one take shelter unless one has that kind of trust? So that's life's purpose, is to advance to that degree. And then when one has that kind of trust, then one can be fixed, and that's called Nishta. And then from that, taste is born, from that attachment is born, from that, by Krishna's grace, Bhava comes. Then one could be fearless. One sees that nothing can happen to me that Krishna doesn't sanction. And even though it may look so bad, and it may seem so bad, and even feel so bad, somehow Krishna's there. Okay. It's amazing consciousness. That's Krishna consciousness. And it's not that you don't have to struggle at times. It's not that you don't have to struggle, but you're a servant. And you know the nature of your master. So you don't resent the struggle even. And Srila Bhaktivedanta says, I find happiness in the difficulties of life. When things are difficult, I find happiness in that. Try to figure that out from the material point of view. It's some kind of sadomasochistical tendency or something like that. The more I suffer, the happier I am, or something like that. But it's springing from a place of, I'm a servant. I'm a servant of my beloved Master. I'm on his mission. Wow. Therefore, these devotees are our heroes. They're so heroic. Arjuna, Hanuman, they're the two examples. Prabhupada, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, Mahaprabhu, and Goswamis, everyone. So many things. Any other questions or comments? Yeah.
Yeah. I was wondering, when we think in terms of Paramatma who's inside, the verse that Paramatma is Hridayam, like the friend of the heart who resides in the heart of the devotee. So, there can it be a perspective in which one can trust, like Krishna is giving good advice to the heart, or like the influence of false ego could also make us not have a clear view of what our perspective might be?
Yeah. So, both. So Krishna may be giving us some inspiration from the heart, and sometimes the mind is so tricky. It disguises itself as Krishna in the heart. And I can tell you, so how do you know the difference? That's what I understood your question really was. So there's a system for telling what to do. And Mahaprabhu spoke this way to Sanatana Goswami. When Sanatana Goswami asked him about what's basically, who am I? He asked him some philosophical questions. And why is there suffering? And Mahaprabhu said, you already know the answer, but it's the nature of a sadhu, a holy person, to inquire, just to set the right example. So if one thinks that one has a specific inspiration, then there's a check system, and that's sadhu, shastra, guru. So you go to the sadhus, shastra, if it agrees with shastra, and the guru. So that one checks, because there's so many crazy people in the world who think, why did you do it? God told me to do it. So that also happens. So we check in this way. Because the people who are, how to say, psychotic and other, they think they're in touch with often who knows what. And they're not at all mental about it. That's the most frightening thing. And not only that, there's another frightening thing, that whenever someone does something, one always has a good reason for doing it. So that's the nature of the mind. We can't fully trust it. So we use our intelligence as best we can, and we use our intuition as best we can, but we check. Any other questions, comments? Oops, exactly time to end. Prabhupada ki jai, Sri Caritamrta ki jai, Bhagavad ki jai, Lotus ki jai.